Well, it's that time of the year already, darkness by 5 p.m. Managed to get out of the office a little bit earlier than usual, but even so, it was still dark by the time I got to the lake. I'm down at my club lake. I've got 2 rods out on the spot already, fishing out there, 27 wraps, and this third one's about to join them on the same spot. Some people find it hard to sort of conceive how you'd fish 3 rods out there on the same spot at night, thinking you get all sorts of tangles, but I've got a few little tips to help you fish effectively, even though you're fishing in the hours of darkness. So I'll get this one out there and run you through those little tips. So one extra little piece of kit as well that I'm gonna need is this. It's a very, very bright torch. Now, I personally prefer a normal torch rather than a head torch for this. And basically what that's gonna do is it's gonna illuminate where your lines are so that you can determine whether your lines are crossed and what order you need to put your rods down. This one is the Phoenix PD32, but we'll go over that in more detail a little bit later. So what I'm gonna do now is my rod's all rigged up. I'm gonna slash it out there. And for this, I'm gonna make sure that I don't have any lights on at all, so that I've got no glare that's taking away from my sort of concentration on where it's going. So I'll see you in a moment. Come on. 18th time's the charm. That looks about bang on, but now it's time to check the lines with that powerful torch. So before I unclip it, I'll pop the rod down in the rest, carefully slide it between those other 2 rods. I'll get that powerful torch out. Right, so those lines are actually looking pretty good already, but the first job is to just pop the bobbin on. I'm using mono as well and a big heavy bobbin, and basically, as you can see, that's holding the line nice and tight. What that's going to do is it's going to straighten out the line between my rod tip and the lead out there on the spot. So what I can do now is I can go and check the rod tips up close to check that those lines haven't crossed. So once the rods are out, all that you need to do is hold the 2 tips close to each other, and you can clearly see there that the lines move outwards ever so slightly. If I check the middle with the left rod too, you can see the same there as well. Now, there's a little bit more of a gap on that side, but that doesn't really matter too much. And you can see all 3 of them go out nicely to the spot. Now, I've had it before in the past where the leads have clearly landed very close to each other. You've got to have the tips right next to each other to really discern whether it's the left or right rod. But the great thing about fishing in this way is that you can literally just swap the rods over. You've just got to make sure you remember which was the last rod that you cast out, and make sure that one always goes over the other line so that you don't wrap the lines up together. Once you know that all your lines aren't crossed, you can get your rods all set up how you want them, and then it's just time for the fish to do their thing. Hopefully we'll get a bite, maybe even 2. So let's get some bait out. there you go. How about that for a pristine winter mirror? £23, and proof that it's well worth getting those rods out, even if you're arriving after dark, after a day in the office. Must have been about 11 o'clock by the time I got the rods out, and this one bust off at 3 in the morning. Got that rod straight back out because there's still a chance of another bite. But yeah, we'll get this guy slipped back. Hopefully there'll be more to come before the morning.
My arm is aching. Come on.
How about that? Check him out. £31, 11 ounces. And it was a good job that I've recast that rod out in the middle of the night, because just as it was getting light this morning, that same rod was away again with this absolutely immense carp. Just look at the size of its head and that massive, massive mouth on it. What an absolutely stunning creature. So we'll get a few snaps of her and get her back, but hopefully this has given you a bit of an insight on how you can make the most of arriving after dark on those sort of work night sessions, giving you a bit more of an opportunity to catch more carp like this. Absolutely awesome. there you go. Another bite on that middle rod. This time, a gorgeous, clean, chestnutty mirror, 27 pound. And as I said, once again, it was on that same rod that I recast, topped it up with a little bit more bait, and within half an hour to an hour, it was away again. Proof once again just how important it is to get those rods right back out there, no matter whether it's day or night. Right, let's slip him back, and hopefully even more to come. Lovely. Well, the rods are all out there, the bait's out there, so now seems as good a time as any to talk about the torch that I was using earlier. This is the Phoenix PD32 V2, and it's a really powerful torch, but what's really useful is that beam is concentrated into a narrow area. It delivers up to 1,200 lumens, and it concentrates that light exactly where you need it, meaning that you can follow your lines as they go out into the water and you can see whether they've crossed over or not. The PD32 is really simple to use. It's got a simple button operation on the back, and the torch actually runs off an 18650 lithium-ion battery, which means that it's completely rechargeable too. So if you want any more information on the PD32, you can check it out on their website, but we'll also be doing a number of reviews on both this and also other products in the range, such as the head torch that I'm using now, and another really powerful hedge torch that they also do. So keep an eye out for those. So that's it for me tonight. I'm going to get my head down and hopefully I'll be waking up to a carp. Well, that there, pretty big ghostie. So I'm just going to quickly get him unhooked now, get that rod back into play before we check out the prize.
Well, check him out. The lake's big ghostie, 34 pound, 8 ounce. Absolutely immaculate. Now that is a mega looking common. Big, perfect mouth, proper angry fish. He gave me a proper battle. Absolutely made up with him. I'm so glad I took the time to get those rods out. Bang on, took a few attempts, but well worth it in the end.
Well, you can probably tell from my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. However, it was another successful night last night. After getting those rods out, a bite came at about 2 in the morning, which resulted in an awesome 34 pound, 8 ounce ghostie common. There's 2 ghosties in the lake, and that was the bigger of the 2. And yeah, what an awesome fish. So yeah, I was really made up with that one. Put in the effort straight away to unhook it in the net and get that rod straight back out onto the spot, and then topped it up with about 3 or 4 spoms of my mix. Well, I mentioned a second ago that there was 2 ghosties in the lake. That same rod that I'd cast out in the night went again, and would you believe it, the second ghostie was on the end. Managed to get him in the net. He's sat there now, so let's get him out, get him weighed, get some shots of him. Absolutely insane. It's a little bit bigger as well than I thought. 29 pound, 11 ounces. Blown away. What a crazy looking carp. Just look at the size of its mouth. These carp in this lake are something else. Well, there you go, that wraps up the session, and what a session it turned out to be. 6 fish in total, including the biggest ghostie in the lake at 34 pound, 8 ounce. Safe to say I'm absolutely made up with how it all went, and hopefully you guys can take a few tips from the session too. So there's one job left for me to do now, that's wrap all my kit up and get on my way home. Proper winter colours them, haven't they?
Proper.
He is absolutely mega. Just look at the colours on that. Absolutely love the fish in this lake. It looks so nice from that clear water. Just blown away. Absolutely picked off.
Whoa.
Proper cool fish him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Old half tail, cut tail, whatever they call him. Had him before in my first year. Fair bit smaller than he is now. I think he was 31 back then. Proper character of the lake. I'm more than happy to see him in his prime winter form at the moment. And there you go, that's the other side. Proper old warrior of the lake. 35 pound 3 ounce. He was fish number 11. And fish number 12 is over there.
Post-match interview, how are we feeling, Matthew?
Very happy. Carp number 12. I think it's time to get home though now.